Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is Just Because You Stop Watching the News Doesn't Mean It Stopped Happening. And I got this title from a New Yorker cartoon. It was from a couple of weeks ago, and it's of a man who comes in to speak to his wife, who looks like she's possibly watching TV and feeling pretty good. And the husband says, "You do realize that just because you stopped watching the news doesn't mean it stopped happening." And before I discuss this cartoon, I know it seems like I'm telling people to watch the news, and I'm actually not. Whether or not you decide to watch the news is a personal decision. You get to choose what you do every day. What I have noticed, though, is a lot of people have stopped watching the news because they're fed up with what's going on. So they'll say to me, "I don't watch the news anymore. I just do things in my own life." And if you're someone who gets up every day and you're ignoring what's happening and it's bothering you and you're in a state of fear and you decide not to look because it upsets you so much, energetically what you're doing is you're hiding in your house, shutting the shades, closing your heart, and expecting to manifest, expecting to be okay, expecting not to be anxious. And manifestation and change can't happen when we close our heart and we live in a state of fear. That's not a real state of joy. That's called avoidance. Now, if you're someone who could wake up in the morning and you love uncertainty and you don't mind what's happening in the world and you decide not to watch the news, but you go on with your day and you spread your love and you spread your joy, and you're actually not in a fear state. You're just choosing where you want to put your reality, your focus. That's someone who's living on the unlimited field of possibilities, manifesting, living with less fear and more presence. And if you're one of those people, then whether you watch the news, you don't watch the news, you're out there in the world doing your best, doing your life's work. But I think a lot of us are so afraid of uncertainty. We're so afraid to look what is in front of us because we think we know what's going to be tomorrow. We're frozen. Or we look away and we think by looking away, we're going to find happiness in our lives. But if you're looking away because of fear, then that fear is trapped inside of you. That anxiety is trapped inside of you. And if we really want to manifest, we really want to create the world we want to see, we really want to create the life that we so deeply want, it comes with keeping our heart open and letting that fear run through us, letting that anxiety run through us, and knowing that uncertainty is our best friend, because if we want our life to change, it has to happen in the unknown. And for someone like me, I don't mind uncertainty, and I don't believe that if I see something I don't like, I'm doomed. I always believe life could change, and I always want to know, what can I do to participate in that change? So I'm someone who likes the news. I don't watch it all day, but I like to know what's going on. Maybe I'll write an article or release a podcast about a certain topic, or maybe I'll just notice what's going on in the world. And if I get anxious or afraid, I sit there in my stillness with an open heart and I look at what's making me feel afraid. I'm feeling fear because what's happening around the world is making me feel like I'm not safe and I'm not okay and my children are not okay. And then I realize where I am in this moment and what's about the past and what's about the future. I do my maybe practice, and I might not like what's going on, but I realize that nobody knows what's going to happen next, and I have an opportunity to be part of the change. That is how I like to go about my day, to make sure nothing shuts my heart, nothing steals my freedom, because after everything I've been through, I don't want to be hiding in my house with the shades down, making my life smaller and smaller because I can't face the moment because I'm too afraid of what will be. And that's why I'm bringing this up today. No matter what you are feeling about the world, about your life, about what's happening, avoiding what's going on is a part of shutting down. We want our lives to change, but we're so afraid we're not okay that we're not willing to fully embrace the unknown. We look at uncertainty as our enemy when in fact it is there for us, reminding us that because you can't know what's going to happen next, good things happen too. And if we don't allow that, our dreams get stuck within us. We're so busy trying to protect our safety that we don't have the courage and the resilience to take the next step on our path. You don't need to know what happens next. Our job is to sit up straight in the moment. Allow what is happening. You're allowed to have feelings about it, but then you choose, what am I going to do about this? And you choose your perspective. And in a way, life is asking us to do something different than is our natural inclination. If you think about it, when something's happening that you don't like, we tense up. We say, no, I don't want this. We resist. But life is asking us to do the opposite thing. Life is asking us to relax our shoulders, take a deep breath, and not resist. What is life telling me in this moment? Where is life guiding me? Where should I be? How can I align with this moment? How can I not get stuck in my fear and my worry, which is going to take me in a totally different direction? Remember, when we want certainty, we cling to the past. We cling to things that don't align with our dreams, and we become someone that's not authentic to who we truly are. So that's what the stress does. We think we're saving ourselves, but we're sinking ourselves. And when we start to understand this, when we are able to relax in the moment that makes us most afraid, and we keep our heart open and we sit still and we recognize the thoughts and the energy around us, and we don't get lost in it. We go to our true seat within ourselves, that place within us that's always okay. And we watch the swirl around us and we make a choice in that moment. We recommit to ourselves, we recommit to our dreams, we recommit to the vision that we have of this world, and we commit to our last breath that we will not let anyone sell us doom and gloom, because hope is our birthright. Uncertainty is our best friend, and we use those tools to step back out into the world, whether it's to make the world better, whether it's to achieve our dreams, whether it's to raise our kids, whatever it is. Don't let anyone take that from you. But when we close down, when we close our heart down and fear takes over, we will be more interested in protecting something that could fall through our fingers than expanding on a playing field that will offer us more. Again, we could shrink into certainty, protecting what cannot be protected, because everything comes and goes, or we could expand so great that we avail ourselves to so much more that is possible. We live in the light, we live in hope, we live with an open heart. And of all the things, to live with an open heart is to feel the beauty and the depth of living. Does that come with pain? Yes, life has pain, but it also has pleasure and joy. But you have to leave your home, and you have to be willing to look at what is in front of you, not avoid it, not close down to it, and not write a story of what tomorrow will bring. So I use the analogy of the news, that if you don't watch it, it's still happening. To think about, if we're feeling afraid, even if we avoid the situation, we're still afraid. That fear is still in us, and it'll come back another way. And more than that, more than living with the fear and the stress, to be here and to not choose our rightful path, to not experience everything our hearts desires, to not feel the depth of our relationships, to not bring meaning into our lives, and to not promote a world that we want to see. I don't think anything is worth giving all that up. So remember, life has maybe. Keeping your heart open is one of the most important things that you can do. You will survive the pain. That is something life has taught me. You will survive the pain that you feel. You will survive that moment of fear, that moment of stress, and you can relax your body, relax your mind. Remember the hope within the unknown, and your life will be more fulfilling. You will live with more grace. You will live with more gratitude, and in your heart, you will always know that maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe, A Year Without Men, Maybe Everything's Okay, A Parent's Guide to Less Stress and Worry, they're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. If you'd like to buy my Maybe cards or my Maybe digital journal, they're available on Amazon, Etsy, and my Stan store. And most of all, if you like this podcast, I hope you subscribe and leave a comment.